Greetings. We're here today at the Association of Industrial Real Estate Brokers annual Developers Showcase and Trade Show. This marks the traditional beginning of the fall season and the push to close out the year on a productive note. Today we'll be talking with brokers, developers, construction firms, and other service providers to find out what they look for between now and the end of the year, forecasting ahead to 2012, and we'll also take a look at how people are changing their business plans to accommodate and take advantage of opportunities that exist in the marketplace. Stay with us. We're here with Corey Chase, who's the president of aire this year and also principal with Podolsky North Star. And Corey, what I think we'd like to ask you today is, what kind of advice are you giving to tenants in today's market?
Well, that's a good question, Michael. Most of my work is tenant representation, so I work with tenants primarily, and it's almost like refinancing your house today. It's like I tell my tenants, lock in as long as possible. I've been practicing now for 26 years, and in my entire career, I've never seen rental rates and abatement and these crazy packages that are sent out to tenants so available. And I'm just telling my clients, lock and load and go as long as you can. As a tenant rep guy, obviously I try to get the best deal for my clients, and there's incredible tenant improvement packages out there, a lot of free rent. Some landlords are paying for moving costs, some landlords are paying to bring in infrastructure into the building. So again, it's a great time to be a tenant in the marketplace. I seem to think that probably over the next couple of years it'll remain the same way.
Is it as good a market for tenants as it ever has been in your 26 years?
Yeah, it really has been. Like I said, in all my years of practicing, I have never seen the market this soft in all facets of the sub-markets. There's some incredible deals out there, and landlords are just looking to get the tenants in the buildings.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Corey.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Have a good day. We're here this morning with Trevor Ragsdale from Jones Lang LaSalle. And Trevor, the question I'd like to ask you is, as you look at the balance of 2011 and into 2012, what are you expecting for the market?
Well, I think I'll make my comments specific to the I-80 and I-55 submarkets.
Okay.
And I was recently on a tour on Tuesday, actually, with a 400,000 square foot user, and we had 9 alternatives to consider. And as we went through those 9 alternatives, all of that vacant space has some compromise to it. 4 of those 9 are pretty good fits, and I think would be on a short list for this tenant and for most tenants evaluating space in the market. But the balance of the space has, the available space has something about it that isn't just right. And so I think that with the amount of activity that kind of subsided a bit, I guess, in the summer doldrums, but as we come back into the last, couple quarters of the year, we expect to see tenant activity increase. Hopefully some of that space will be absorbed. Real estate fundamentals tell me that, we're not quite where institutional capital will find the returns necessary to go ahead and build spec product, but my gut tells me somebody's going to go for it.
So do you think that'll be the first half of 2012 or maybe more towards the end?
Well, I mean, I think that, obviously it takes 10 months minimum to kind of get a spec project going, but I think that you'll see somebody pulling permits in 2012.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Trevor.
Thanks.
Okay. What gives you the greatest sense of optimism?
I think the leasing up of a lot of the vacant space, the vacancy rates all around Chicago are coming down. And certain corridors are getting tighter and tighter. So that, I think, is the most optimistic sign. Good vacancy, good absorption. Cap rates are also coming down, so there's a lot of capital coming in to the market. So I think it's a good sign.
So will that lead someone like Ryan to perhaps put the shovel in the ground with something new?
I think we will. Stay tuned for Bold Park. It's been needing a big building there soon.
Very good. Well, thanks, Tim.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks, Mike.
We're here with Adam Tarenter, a Senior Vice President with Podolsky North Star Corfac International. Adam, we've said that it's a tenant's marketplace today. And how do you go about managing your clients' expectations to be able to get the most for them, but not promise them too much in today's market?
Well, I think that's actually a very, very important component of being a good advocate for your clients is letting them know what the market will bear, but not over-promising what you can deliver. That can be done by providing them real info of where deals have been done in the past, but also making sure that you let them know that a deal that might have been done at a very low rental rate might not be typical, or there might be other circumstances that warranted it for that specific deal. And keeping them informed during the process is the other very important part.
How long do you see us being in a tenant's market?
I think until we see some absorption of space, I think that we're going to continue to be in a tenant's market.
Well, thank you very much, Adam.
My pleasure.
Okay.
Thank you.
We're here with John Hefner from the engineering firm Jacob and Hefner. John, wanted to ask you, because engineering firms, architects are really kind of the harbinger for what's to come, what do you foresee in 2012?
Well, our clients, and we work for most of the major industrial developers in the Chicagoland area, and a consistent theme we're hearing is that they feel that we're coming out of this. A lot of them are starting to talk spec buildings, probably designing them this year and during the winter, and breaking ground next year.
So you're looking at a good year in 2012 then?
We're having a much better year in 2011, and we expect 2012 to be even better, yes.
Well, great. Thank you very much, John.
Thank you, Michael.
Okay, bye-bye. We're here with John Coleman, the managing principal of Newmark Knight Frank Epic. And John, one of the questions I had for you today was, what advice are you giving, or would you give landlords today? We've heard a lot of comments today about how it's a tenant's market. So how do you advise the landlords to be working in today's market?
The idea of a tenant's market is challenging because the tenant believes that it's a tenant market too, and yet deals being delivered on the landlord side don't always reflect the idea that it's a tenant's market. And it really comes down to capital. Who's going to deploy the capital to get the deal done on a TI basis or some other improvement to the building? What we're suggesting to our landlords is, in an effort to be in a position to continue to provide the competitive rate, which is the first thing that a tenant looks for, is competitive rate, is to take your vacancies and spec them out, even if it's a minimum standard. But let's get the space in a position where it seemingly is occupy ready. And I think that puts the landlord in a better position to work a basis up if there's additional amortized TI that goes in. But it also lets tenants understand that they are getting some value for the low rate that the landlord is offering, without tempting the tenant with the idea that they can build a lot of construction and other costs into the deal and still have access to the low rate.
We're here with Paul Heitman from Heitman Architects. Paul, the question for you today is that with architecture and engineering firms, they tend to be the kind of the harbinger for what's to come. So let's take a look at what's going on at Heitman Architects and translate that to what it means for the balance of 2011 and into 2012.
Mm-hmm. Well, we're very busy right now. We have a lot of projects on the boards, things that have broken ground this year that'll be in construction until next year. We're seeing a lot of manufacturing come back to the States, a lot of distribution, a lot of people that are reevaluating their supply chain, which is affecting new facilities or consolidations. We're fairly busy right now. Go ahead.
Is it a kind of a consistent stream of business?
Oh, yeah, consistent.
So that you would say that in 2012 it's going to be consistent?
I believe so, yeah. It's been continually ramping up ever since the last quarter of 2010.
Great. Well, congratulations on that, and we do look forward to a good 2012.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Paul.